Was that my phone? All right, so basically, I'm currently sat inside a workshop because I'm waiting for my van to get fixed. I mean, some days just start in a weird kind of way. So this morning I started the van, and they, like, on the instrument display panel, you get like a warning, and there was a warning about brakes. That obviously is not a good thing. So I took it to the workshop. So I'm here waiting for it to get fixed. And I thought, you know what, why not go live at the same time? Because I haven't actually done a proper live since 2025. Have I done one this year? 2026? I don't think I have. So I want to say Happy New Year, everyone. And I hope everyone's doing good and stuff. And I hope you guys all had like a good Christmas and New Year. And, and I'm quite curious to see if anyone made any New Year resolutions and stuff like that. Or if anyone has any ideas of like things that they would do differently this year versus how they did things last year and all that stuff. And I know every year everyone says on the 1st of January, I'm going to start going to the gym. They make all kinds of resolutions. There's even one where it's like, is it dry January, where there's basically no alcohol, you eat clean and you drink clean. And it kind of gets me thinking sometimes, like, why is it only dry January? Why can't it be like dry all year? I don't know. It's like, maybe it's easy for me to say because I'm not really, I don't really drink. So maybe that's easier for me. But it's quite interesting that a lot of people make a lot of like resolutions for the new year, but barely ever stick to them throughout the whole year. I say this because of my local gym that I used to go to. Every January, this gym is packed is full of people, all full of optimism and wanting to start a new leaf in January. But by the second week of January, you start to notice like the people you saw the previous week are not really there anymore. People stop going to the gym. I'm quite curious why that is. Like how many people actually stick to their resolutions throughout the whole year? Maybe one of you guys do, but let me know. I think most people kind of don't. Let me just check to make sure that we're still live. Yes, we are. I think a lot of people, obviously it's all like good intentions and things that you want to do, but the staying power to do these things is probably the most difficult part. And so this year, like, I used to make resolutions, but I stopped doing that because I'm thinking, say if you're in 2025, you want to do certain thing in 2026. I'm thinking, why do you have to wait until 2026 to start doing the thing that you said that you're going to do better? Start right away. It's kind of how I look at it now. So obviously I wrote a list of things that I did well last year and a list of things that I could do better this year. And it's not really like a resolution as such, but it's more of like the thinking of, okay, I'm going to make this little improvement here, this little improvement there. One of the things for me is to take out the bin. Like I do it already, but like I just want to make it like just my job. Like if the bin is full, I'm just going to tie the knot, whatever, and just take it out and just put it in the bin. No questions asked. I'm just going to do that this year. That's one of the things I want to do more. And also, it's really hard to live in a society where everything is just like bam, bam, bam all the time. I feel like, because I live in London, and I feel like I'm kind of waffling all over the place, but I promise you everything kind of like makes sense. We work so hard in this country, right? A lot of us spend a lot of our day literally working, because if you don't work here, you literally starve, because everything is expensive. And if you haven't got money to pay for these things, then you're pretty much screwed. But we work so hard, and yet we kind of neglect like ourselves. Because when you think about it, if you work so hard, what are you really working hard for if it isn't for yourself and your close ones? If you neglect yourself and you're working hard, what's the point? It's kind of what I'm trying to get to. It's it's a bit of a weird subject to talk about, because I know I'm sat here in a waiting room and I'm just thoughts just pop in my head and then just coming out my head into a camera and a microphone. And yeah, the new year is always very interesting. Like I'm sat here thinking New Year was literally almost 2 weeks ago tomorrow, like 14 days ago tomorrow. That's crazy. You know how quickly time flies by, and before you know it, or chatting to someone earlier, they said to me, before you know it, it's going to be Christmas all over again. It just seems like time literally has no time for anyone. Doesn't matter what you're going through, what you're doing. The concept of time waits for no one. He has no interest in in you, what your feelings are, what your plans are. Its main focus is just to keep marching forward. It doesn't think about going backwards or sideways. It's always going forward. In a way, when I was younger, I was like, everything's so slow. Like, I can't wait to be, I don't know, 18. Can't wait to be 20, 21, whatever. And then you get to like your 20s, you're like, God damn. Like, I don't want to be 30. I want to stay 20, 21 forever. And then the whole concept of time taking too long completely like switches. Because I used to think when I was a kid, like, school holidays were way too short. I wish they were longer. But then when you get older, I guess for people who have kids and stuff, they think school holidays are too short. Sorry, they're too long, that they should be shorter. The whole concept of how you think about things as you age is kind of crazy sometimes. I'm just here, just a guy in a room, just chatting to a camera, just chatting his thoughts and stuff. And yeah, so as I was saying before, I didn't really make any resolutions this year, but I do know things that I did well last year, things I didn't do so well last year that I want to do better this year. So I'm going to focus on those. And I'm going to make any massive plans that are clearly unachievable. I think it's good to make small, like short-term plans, and then as you complete them, you then make another set of short-term plans. And then when you look back after like a year, you actually accomplish quite a lot, as opposed to setting one giant like plan, which might just be too difficult to complete. I mean, the whole scope and thought of completing a really massive plan might just be too much for some people. So I'm trying smaller like plans and then just ticking those off. And hopefully in time, those small plans will add up to be a really massive plan. So when it comes to like content creation and stuff, I definitely want to do more live streaming this year, because last year was more about testing and just trying to figure out like where I can position myself in this space, because I just like the concept of talking to people like in front of camera and basically finding out what their experience is and telling about your experience about things or things that you do, or that sharing ideas and experience with other people. And I just love the idea of just turning the camera on and just talking, like walking around or sat down like this in a room, just talking. I just find that really interesting. I like obviously creating content as well, where you shoot and then you edit. I like that as well, but I really do enjoy live streams quite a lot. So I want to do more of these. So last year I spent a lot of time getting equipment for live streams. And the camera I'm using right now is amazing for these kind of sit-down live streams. And to an extent, the walk-arounds as well, but the camera is quite a bit bigger, obviously, bigger sensor, full frame, and then you've got a lens and stuff. And the quality is really, really good. But it's not going to be great in all occasions, because sometimes you need a small camera, you need a camera that doesn't quite like, how can I say it, draw attention to yourself. So for those kind of live streams, this might not be the best setup. So I have an Osmo Pocket 3, which is quite good for, I guess, walk around live streams. But I'm not sure if the quality is anywhere near as good as this camera. And also, I think it's more temperamental in terms of like connections than this camera. So that makes it a little bit more complicated. But if I could shrink this camera and keep this same quality, it would be absolutely amazing. I love the fact that you just turn it on, tether to your phone, and just go live. That to me is absolutely insane. It's priceless. So I want to do more of that. If that means it could be me going to a different country, it could be me like, I don't know, going to a shop, or like it could be me just sharing an experience like live, because I love the live interactions and stuff like that. So yeah, so more of that this year. My plan is to do a minimum of 1 live stream a week, right? In a year, that's 52 live streams. So I'll start with that, and then I can build from there in case I want to do more live streams throughout the week. But aim is to start with 1 and then kind of work up from there. And then to also make 1 pre-recorded and edited video once a week as well for my other channel. So that's what I plan to do on that. So 2 pieces of content, long form, a week. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do with shorts, because I'm still trying to see if shorts really are viable for me or not. That one is still in the thought process, but I might do some. In terms of like vlogs and how I position like content and stuff, I was thinking to do live streams here and vlogs as well. or just keep this strictly for live streaming and then upload vlogs on my other YouTube channel. So I'm not quite sure I'm going to do that yet, but that is the plan. And let me just check something. Hold on 1 second. Nothing has dropped off. Everything is still live. That is so freaking cool. Just going to check the quality. Captions on. Okay. So for anyone wondering like what kind of setup I'm using right now is I'm using a Panasonic Lumix S5 II X camera. I'm using this camera specifically because it has built-in live streaming features. So all you need is an internet connection, and I'm currently tethered to my phone to give me the internet signal, and you can go live anywhere. I love the fact that the quality is pretty high. The lens, you can change the lens, and it's better in low light. And for these kind of videos, I just think it's absolutely freaking amazing. And then in terms of camera gear, in terms of microphones and stuff, I'm using what is that sound? Something sounds like liquid flowing somewhere. That's so weird. In terms of microphones, I'm using a Holyland Lark. What's it called again? Holyland Lark. I think A1 or A2 microphone, if I remember correctly. These microphones are so cool, yeah. I love how small and portable it is, and the fact that you can customize it so it doesn't even look like a microphone. The quality is pretty insane. Obviously, it's wireless. You get 2 of them in this pack, and I just think for these kind of videos, it's absolutely insane. So you get 2 transmitters like this, one here, I've got one here. And then you get like a receiver that I plug to my camera, and then this is the case that it comes into. It's like an AirPod, similar to an AirPod case. So it's got a battery built in, and then it's got a USB-C charger on here. So when you put it back in here, it automatically will charge the receiver and transmitter, which I think is pretty cool. Very, very small, very portable, and very for these kind of videos, I think it's absolutely amazing. What else is there to talk about apart from stuff? I just feel like this year is still so new that not much has happened yet. I'm really looking forward to seeing how things like pan out from now until like end of the year, around December and stuff, when I look back and review how the year went. One of my biggest failings last year, to be fair, over the past few years, has been my consistency, man. Oh my God. When you first start doing YouTube, you get excited about making content and stuff. But what you don't, at least in my case, I didn't really like factor in was the amount of work required to be consistent. Oh my days. And if you're consistent, you will grow. And if the content is good, obviously you'll grow. But if your content is good, but you're not consistent, it's still gonna affect your growth. And I have not been consistent for years, man. So my biggest challenge this year is to find a system or a way to be more consistent, which live streams kind of tie into. I feel like, because I'm busy most of the time, if I can save time on editing, then live streaming makes so much sense. So I also feel like the landscape of YouTube is changing a lot. They're just thoughts coming out of my head like left, right, and center. But maybe that should be a different video, because otherwise I'm going to be here for freaking hours. I just feel like the landscape of YouTube and social media is changing. And I think as a creator or someone who makes videos, you got to like see the landscape and also change as well. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. And what I'm going to do is I'll make another video about the changing landscape of YouTube and how I plan to tackle that based on what I've seen so far through last year and this year. There's definitely been a shift and a change. Most of it to do with AI, but that's why it's going to be a separate video. But anyway, I'm just sat here in a workshop waiting for my van to get fixed, and I just thought I'd just go live and just empty what's in my head into the camera. I don't know if anyone's going to find this useful down the line, but just my thoughts. And I guess I will see you on the next live stream. Bada bing, bada boom. Peace out from somewhere in NW10 in London, NW Northwest London. Whoo, bloody hell.